How much does it cost to paint your own car DIY style in your home garage? In this video, I'm going to give you guys the price breakdown and all the materials I use to actually paint this car in my home garage. Now, of course, with any DIY paint job done at home, you're going to get some imperfections, and I'm not going to say that this car is perfect because, well, it's not. However, I will say this, people have asked me where I took my car to get painted, what body shop, because the results actually speak for themselves. The car looks amazing. So I'm going to give you guys a price breakdown of all the materials that I used, including some tools and how much it all costs, because I think there's a large misconception that painting a car at home is super cheap. Comparing it to body shop prices, it's significantly less money, but it's also a lot more work, and it did take me a significant amount of time. It took me 2 years to paint this car piece by piece by piece in a home garage, but I finally managed to get, well, this kind of result and the car all one color. Now, I know if you scrounge through the YouTube hard enough, you guys will actually find some $50 or $100 or $200 paint jobs done at home, and most of them are spray can, and a lot of them don't look this good, to be honest with you. A lot of them are not using professional materials, and they just don't have the shine, the reflection, and the crisp look of a brand new paint job on a car. They just don't look that great. So let me show you guys what I used, and maybe you guys might be interested in painting your own car. So let me give you guys a quick tour of, well, my paint booth. This is it. Now, of course, this car was painted with a small air compressor. This was one that I bought from Lowe's years back. It is a Cobalt 30 gallon with a 1.6 running horsepower, very low CFM, somewhere around 6 CFM or so, if I'm not mistaken. Now, hopefully you guys already own an air compressor, but if yours is as small as mine, you guys will know that, well, spraying with a small air compressor can have its challenges. And one of the biggest challenges is fighting with moisture. Well, fighting for moisture for me wasn't too bad of a problem when I ended up getting this motor guard filter. This runs right around 60 to 100 bucks, depending on what kit you have. They have several kits, but it works excellent. I also run these small little filters under my regulator to make sure that any remaining moisture gets trapped on this little filter. These are about 10 bucks each. Now, when it comes to spray guns, of course, there are so many options, and I usually run what I would like to call the big boy guns. So things like Technopro Lights, Sada 5000s, DV1, Clear Coat, just to name a few. Mainly for base coat, I was using my Technopro Light. I also used it for clear in some instances, but this gun runs right around 700 bucks, but I ended up purchasing it for about 450 bucks. Another gun that I would actually recommend for most people that are painting at home and want a good professional gun, this DeVilbiss Plus spray gun runs around 300 bucks and is a really, really good deal. Another professional spray gun that I have is the Sada 5000 that ran about 350 bucks. The DeVilbiss S I purchased for about $500. The DV1 Clear Coat gun I purchased secondhand, and I paid about 450 bucks for it. And it does have, it comes equipped with the C2 air cap, and I also have the C1 air cap. A recent purchase that I made was the Wacom Ego 190 with Motivated Painters Edition, equipped with a 1.2. This is the HVLP model that ran about 450 bucks. And then my Techna primer gun, this one I've had for maybe a year or so, and this thing ran about 500 bucks. Now we're gonna start jumping into the materials, including base coat and clear coat. For the base coat and clear coat, I was using the Eurochem brand. It is very budget friendly, and you could buy a gallon of base coat with its corresponding reducer and a gallon of clear coat and its corresponding activator for around $400, and that's exactly how much I paid. but going to a paint store, a gallon of base coat could run you around 500 bucks for the gallon. Now keep in mind that red paint is also one of the most expensive colors as well. Now moving on to the primer, I was using also by Eurochem, their polyurethane primer surfacer UP61. Now this primer surfacer did come with its activator and also a quart of reducer as well, and it ran me about 120 bucks. The primer surfacer is good for filling in scratches and bodywork over body filler or anything like that. It does have to be sanded smooth if you guys want good results. Still talking about primers, this is Eurochem's OxyStick 2K epoxy primer. This is EP21, and this quart kit also comes with a quart of its corresponding activator, of course. This kit runs right around $45, I believe no more than 50 bucks. And it's good for also filling in scratches, but more on the direct metal applications, but it can also be used over plastic as well. Now, I did mention that the Eurochem kit did come with clear coat, but it did not come with this clear coat. This was a clear coat that I was experimenting with. This is a clear coat I purchased from Amazon. It's the Wanda HS 8100 2K clear. Runs around $100 for the gallon with its corresponding hardener. Now, depending on what hardener you choose, typically it's gonna fluctuate in price. Now, I will say this is a more budget-friendly clear coat. It doesn't flatten super flat, but it is pretty decent. Now we have some more additional materials that we're going to start with. So let's start with body filler. This is U-POL's UPO 920 lightweight polyester filler made by U-POL. This is a lightweight polyester filler that's a little bit more easier to sand. It's not like Bondo. Bondo is actually very hard when it dries. For the gallon, it costs about 20 bucks. We also have the USC Pro Glaze. This is a finishing putty. Good for pinholes or going over body filler that you want to smoothen out. This also cost me about 20 bucks. It was on sale, but it could fluctuate a little bit higher. Now, when painting, you also want to prep the surface and cleanse the surface before painting. So I typically run Prep-All. Now, Prep-All is actually not available anymore in my state, so I was able to get my hands on some. So when I wasn't using Prep-All, I was using the SEM product, and Prep-Alls for this aerosol is about 20 bucks for both the SEM and the Prep-All. And of course, to make sure that you are sanding all their sanding scratches and getting a good finish, I was using the Mirror Cut Dry Guide Coat. I like using the dry coat more than like a spray can. I feel that it embeds itself more into the sanding scratch than a spray can does. Now showing off some additional materials you guys are going to use. Of course, when cleaning your spray gun, you're going to need something good. This is the 3M High Power Spray Gun Cleaner. It is VOC compliant, so you can get it in California and other states as well. This runs about $10 an aerosol, and I purchase it usually from Harbor Freight or on Amazon. Also run the D-Cups disposable cup system. You guys can see a couple cups there that I use. And also the lids as well from the D-Cups. The D-Cups run right around like 40 bucks or so for the whole kit, and that includes the lids and the cups. Moving on from that, we also have these Pro Series wipers. This is called the Super Rag, and I bought this from a local paint shop because I had some towels that were letting off a lot of lint, and this was, I believe, around $15 or $20 for the package. Also, to pick up any types of dust on your paint job before you lay down your clear or in between coats from your base coat, I use the tack rags or tack cloths. These are the Gerson ones. You could buy these at O'Reilly's for about $2 a tack rag. Now, of course, if you're going to be doing your own body work, you're going to be buying a lot of sandpaper and even in the finishing process. So in no specific order, the 3M Trizact 3000 grit, that runs about $90. The Kovacs Super Tack Discs 320 grit, This ran about 60 bucks. USC Orion Advanced Film Technology Sandpaper, I believe this was 180 grit with the Velcro back. This runs about $45 a box. I got a couple boxes of Carborundum Metalist. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but anyway, these were actually on sale, and I believe I paid about $20 a box. These 3M 3000 grit 3-inch pads, this ran about 40 bucks for the small box. USC Orion Sandpaper, this is 600 grit, this ran about 50 bucks. The USC Gold Pro, this ran right around 35 bucks for the box. And we're talking about boxes here, we're not talking about individual sandpapers. Getting into the expensive stuff, this is Super Silex Lemon, of course, Kovacs in K800. This runs about $60 a box. Kovacs Super Tack Disc, also yellow film, but this is a 2000 grit. That also runs right around $60 a box. Also run Sunmite Gold Discs. Those run around $25 a box. The Tollcut touch-up system, this is to denib little dust nibs, comes with little blocks and stuff. That runs about 35 bucks a set. The USC handy masks, this runs around $20 a roll. Honestly, I love this stuff. It makes for really quick masking of panels. Now, of course, moving on to more materials, we have a couple aerosols. This is the U-Pol Spot Primer. So anytime I had a little bit of a burn through and metal was showing, I would use this. This is the UPO 870. I bought this at my local paint shop. This would run somewhere around 30 bucks or so. The Bulldog Adhesion Promoter, we got the price right on the can, luckily for me. So 21 bucks for a can of adhesion promoter. This is good for making paint stick to plastic, but I tend to get a lot of reactions with it, so I'm currently trying to look for a different product here. All right, more paint gun cleaning stuff. This is also the Clean Strip Naked Gun Spray Gun Paint Remover. And I will say that this is the non-VOC compliant version of it. I feel like this works better than the other one. I'm gonna say as long as the paint is fresh in the gun, it works really well. For the gallon version, you're gonna pay about 50 bucks. For the aerosol, you're gonna pay about 15. Now, there are several tools that I use to do all the bodywork on the car. So for stripping the paint off, I did have the roof stripped with the Eastwood Contour SCT. Now, this actually does some pretty quick work, and what I like about it is it has these different rolls in different grits. Not only did it remove paint very quickly, but it also left a very smooth finish as well, so a lot less prepping and a lot less sanding. This is a sander that I purchased. I didn't really get to use it on this project, but I wish I did. What's cool about it, though, is it is a rotary sander and also a random orbit sander, so kind of a 2-in-1 sander. I believe this cost me right around 300 bucks. Also have a DA sander. This has a 3/16 throw. It's more of a finishing sander, and I bought that for about 300 bucks. I also bought a Matco Tools 3-inch palm sander, and I got this one on a really good deal, and I paid about 90 bucks for it. And finally, also from Harbor Freight, this is the Bauer Polisher. This is a rotary style polisher, and it ran me about 100 bucks. This is a little bit more on the D-Cups kit. So this is the DPC 503 K24 3-ounce disposable cups, and I love these things. A little bit more materials, of course, we have soft edge foam masking tape from 3M. This is the 13 millimeter version of it. They do make 2 different sizes, and also the part number there. Literally like foam tape. If you've never seen this stuff, it's pretty nice because it leaves a nice soft edge, and then you basically just buff it out. That was about $50 a box. A lot of tape tape is probably going to be very expensive. It's about $7 a roll, and I have about 3 rolls there. Sheeting, of course, plastic sheeting by 3M. I do have the dimensions on the box itself, so there you go. But they do offer different sizes, and this runs around about $60 a box, and you could do several cars. Of course, we have my respirator. This is a 3M VersaFlow TR600 with a TR6530N filter. The filters run me right around $45, and the respirator itself ended up costing me just under $700 with the mask, the hose, and the respirator itself. But normally these things cost right around $1,200 to $2,000 depending on where you buy it. And I bought mine secondhand. That's why I got a good deal on it, but normal price is right around there. I also have the 3M perforated trim masking tape. This is really good for getting under those seals. That box runs about $30. The Evercoat dirt pick. This is a pick that I bought at one of my local paint stores. This ran about $15. And that's pretty much it for the materials. Now, I did leave some parts out. The things that I left out are window moldings and seals and all that kind of stuff. And that's because you might not be replacing those. And each car, it varies the price of those trim pieces. So I'm not going to include those. But let's go ahead and tally up everything and how much it actually cost to paint your own car in your garage. So let me tally it up right now. All right, so here is the total price of how much it cost me to paint my own car in a garage. $3,839. That's how much it totally costs to paint an entire car piece by piece. That's including all the sandpaper, the tooling, everything. Also includes an air compressor. So if you don't have an air compressor, I added that into it. Now, I didn't add all the spray guns that I bought because that would tally it up to a lot more. But honestly, all you need is one spray gun. So I only added one professional grade spray gun of about $700. So $3,800 is what it actually costs to paint a car in a garage. Now, a lot of people or a lot of YouTubers, they say they could paint a car for $50. Now they're only pricing out certain materials based on one. So if they bought a box for $60 for sandpaper and then they only used 2 sheets of sandpaper, they're only going to give you the price of those 2 sheets of sandpaper. But I'm doing it as an initial price of how much it actually costs you, because the way I see it is you had to spend $60 first to be able to use those 2 sheets of sandpaper or those 3 sheets of sandpaper, however much you used. So I'm including the initial price of how much it actually costs. And with that, I'm going to end the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Now you know how much it actually costs to paint a car at home. Now, I got quoted $6,000 to paint my own, to paint a car from a body shop, and I did it for roughly half the price. So just keep that in mind. It is significantly cheaper than taking it to a body shop, but at the same time, it's not a $50 or $100 paint job either. And with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Stay spraying. Catch you guys on the next one. See ya.